Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. Today we will do some important concept based questions of the chapter Control and Coordination. All the lessons of class 10 physics, chemistry and biology have been uploaded in my channel Biology My Passion. You can check the playlist separately for English and Malayalam and view the language as per your choice. So without much ado, let's move on to the first question. What are receptors? Receptors are the dendritic tip of nerve cells acquiring information from the outside. You know that the neuron has got three parts, mainly the cell body, which has got small extensions called dendrites and a long extension called axon. Of these, dendrites are responsible for receiving information from outside, so they are called receptors. Where are receptors located? Usually these receptors are located in our sense organs. You know, we have 5 sense organs. Out of these, only 2 receptors names you have to by heart. First is smell. Smell is olfactory receptors, and taste, gustatory receptors. How are impulses transmitted from one neuron to another? You know that its dendrites or receptors receive information from outside and they convert this information into electrical signals. Then this information passes through the axon and reach the nerve endings. At the nerve endings, these electrical impulses are transmitted across the synapse in the form of chemicals. So the transmission of nerve impulse is in the form of electrochemical impulses. On entering the dendrite of the next neuron, they again become electrical impulse. You know what is a synapse, right? Synapse is the functional gap between two adjacent neurons. What is reflex action? Sudden involuntary action without involving thinking is called a reflex action. For example, jumping out of the way of a fast coming vehicle, or when you are poking a harsh object or a sharp object, you jump out of it. These are all reflex actions. Write the reflex pathway. The path through which the reflex action impulses are passing is called a reflex pathway, or it is otherwise called a reflex arc. It involves the receptor which receives the information and then it sends the signals through a sensory neuron to the spinal cord. Inside the spinal cord, there is a connecting neuron, small one called a relay neuron. This relay neuron will pass the information for action through the motor neuron to the effector muscle. So this involves a reflex arc. Name the 3 parts of brain. Human brain has got mainly 3 parts: the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain consists of a large part called cerebrum, then thalamus and hypothalamus. Midbrain is actually consisting of 4 spherical structures called a corpora quadrigemina. You need not remember that because in class 10 syllabus it is not there. Then hindbrain again has got 3 parts: cerebellum, pons and medulla. List the functions of forebrain. Forebrain is the main thinking center. It receives impulses from various receptors, interpret the information that it receives, and decide the response. Apart from this, hunger center is present in the forebrain, and also this is a center for voluntary actions, means the actions which are under our control. Which part of the brain control involuntary actions? Midbrain and hindbrain are controlling the involuntary actions. What are the functions of hindbrain? Though hindbrain has got 3 parts, cerebellum, pons and medulla, in the textbook we are not studying the function of pons. Actually, it is a connecting area. So basically, hindbrain is involved in involuntary actions. Of this, medulla has mainly 4 controlling functions. It controls blood pressure, salivation, vomiting and respiration. Whereas cerebellum or the little brain controls walking in a straight line, riding a bicycle, picking up a pencil, etc. Please excuse the spelling of straight. Precision of voluntary actions and maintains posture and balance of the body. How does muscle move? Muscles move by changing their shape and they shorten. Muscle cells have special proteins that change both their shape and their arrangement. They are called the contractile proteins. New arrangement of these proteins give the muscle cells a shorter form. How does plant move? Plant cells change shape by changing the amount of water in them, resulting in swelling or shrinking, therefore changes shape. Because we know that animals have contractile protein, plants don't have contractile protein, so they depend on the amount of water for changing the shape of the cell. How do tendrils move around a support? Some plants like the pea plant climb up other plants or fences by means of tendrils. These tendrils are sensitive to touch. When they come in contact with any support, the part of the tendril in contact with the object does not grow as rapidly as the part of the tendril away from the object. If you tell the reason for that, it is because of the translocation of auxin from the point of contact to the opposite side. So as a result, that part will grow more rapidly than the inside. This causes the tendril to circle around the object and thus cling to it. For the detailed explanation, you can visit the lesson video. There I have explained it in detail. What is tropic movement? Movements of plants in response to stimulus towards or away from it is called a tropic movement. They can be of four types: phototropism, geotropism, chemotropism, and hydrotropism. If the movement of plant is in response to light towards or away from it, then we call it as phototropism. Photo means light. Shoots show positive phototropism as they are moving towards light, and roots show negative phototropism because they move away from light. Next is geotropism. Geotropism means movement of plants in response to stimulus of gravity towards or away from it. Here also shoots show negative geotropism because shoots are growing away from gravity, whereas roots show positive geotropism by moving towards gravity. Chemotropism is the movement of plants in response to stimulus of chemical. For example, growth of pollen tube towards the ovule in plants is through chemotropism. Hydro means water. Hydrotropism is the movement of plants in response to stimulus of water. We know that roots grow towards the water source and also shoots grow away from it. So roots are positively hydrotropic and shoots are negatively hydrotropic. List the limitations of electrical impulses. But there are limitations to the use of electrical impulses. Firstly, they will reach only those cells that are connected by nervous tissue, not each and every cell in the animal body. Secondly, once an electrical impulse is generated in a cell and transmitted, the cell will take some time to reset its mechanism before it can generate and transmit a new impulse. So why this question is important? Because of the limitations, we have another mode of communication in the body or coordination in the body through chemical, that is hormones. Okay, so this question can be asked in a different way. Why do we need chemical coordination? So we have to write about the limitation of electrical impulse, so we need chemical coordination also. How is the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant different from movement of a shoot towards light? The movement of leaves of the sensitive plant is a nastic movement called thigmotropism and is growth independent movement. Nastic movements are non-directional. So 3 points are there. Whereas the movement of shoot towards light is tropical movement called phototropism. It's growth dependent and directional. These are the important questions from the first part of this lesson. The questions from chemical coordination or hormones will be included in the next part. If you have any doubt, post in the comment box. Please share with your friends if you like these videos. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thank you for watching Biology My Passion.